So let's
You from the nice part of Queens? Or are you from the?
I don't know where I'm from. I don't
All
answer
right,
questions.
Yeah, that's right. It's my interview. Let me talk.
Yeah. How you got up with? Because they said that you had a.
Come on, man. You better than that. Get off of that Wikipedia and all that. Let's have a conversation, man.
I got
Come on,
notes,
G Money. Tell you supposed to do his research before he get here. Don't do that to me.
I did, but you see the questions that I want to ask, I don't want to get into it yet.
Okay.
Because it's gonna be a long night.
Okay.
So allow me.
Okay.
Don't come here and try to tell me how to do what I'm doing.
You right. You right.
We got notes that we go to each other.
You right.
All right, so slow down.
Let's go.
Because I want to know about certain individuals, but I want to take it slow. I don't want to go into certain individuals that may cause a certain tone. I mean, I want to start off.
Man, get to them, man.
Get to them.
Get to them people.
We like that song.
Yeah. I want to be cool real quick, but yeah, it did say that you had a on Wikipedia. You know, you had a record called "Every Day Is Crazy" with these two gentlemen. I guess it was the anti-violence record. Like, who are these dudes? I guess it says Jay Bezel and some, you know.
That was some not. Shout out to Malik Aziz, man, from Men United. We actually just went to go visit him. Me and one of the brothers here with me, man. He's one of the elders. He's a former gang leader who is doing like the brothers that come home and then they inspired to like do right. And he basically reached out to a bunch of rappers in Philly. That was probably over a decade ago. And they did a movie called Close to Death. It was basically a documentary about people who had survived being shot, gun violence in Philly, which is still a problem, unfortunately. And I was one of the people that spearheaded that project. And we went around touring the schools, and it was a dope vibe.
All right, let's get it. So let's start off with. At the time, people were accusing you, you had the Joey Jihads and that were accusing you of having fake jewelry.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to finally admit that, or are you going to still stand on your square that the jewelry wasn't fake? Because back in the day, back at those times, people, were buying those type of, not even intentionally, but getting tricked by the jewelers.
Mm-hmm.
So, is there any truth to what they said? Because some of the diamonds, I watched a video a long time ago and I watched it recently again. Those kind of colors of those diamonds are real expensive. We talking about in the millions, those type of colors, exotic colors. It's rare, the real ones.
Mm-hmm.
So, I want to know what's your opinion on that or what happened?
Before I answer that question, because like I said, I'm not going to run from no questions. Before I answer that question, I want to take the time to tell everybody, like, I want to drop jewels. I want to educate as well as entertain. So I came on with the fly stuff. So I want to educate real quick. I want you to pause this video right now, and I want you to Google what's going on in Palestine right now, what's going on in Gaza right now, and just educate yourself. You don't have to be Muslim to care. You just have to be human. So I just want, I see a lot of people come on here and they do a lot of bragging. They do a lot of tough talk. They do a lot of controversy talk. I want to do that too, but I also want to educate. So I want people to pray for Palestine, and not only pray for them, but educate yourself what's going on in Palestine right now. Google Palestine. Google Gaza. Just know that if it can happen there, it can happen here, it can happen anywhere. Educate yourself, and just know that prayer is the weapon of the believer. To answer your question about that, when you talk about jewelry, I'll say this about jewelry, bro. The same people that talked about the jewelry I was wearing at that time, the same artists who talked about my jewelry, double back and shop with the same jeweler that I was getting my jewelry from. If you watch those videos, the response video, the person who talked about my jewelry went into that same jewelry store, the artist you mentioned, because if we're gonna talk about situations. You said Joey Jihad, who now me and Joey Jihad at that time we were having a little issue, but now we good, so I don't want to rehash nothing. Right. Shout out to Joey Jihad. He went into that jewelry store and took picture with jewelry on to make the cover of his CD. What he didn't know is in the process of him doing that, one of the chains he had on was actually one of my chains. Because when I would go out of town, sometimes I would take, which a lot of people do, you take your jewelry back to the jewelry store, whether they get cleaned, whether they get diamonds replaced, different things like that. So if you're going to bring up the video of them talking about my jewelry being fake, you have to also talk about the response video, which featured the jeweler, the same jeweler who made pretty much every rapper in Philly's jewelry at that time, co-signing that I spent the most money in that jewelry store.
I saw that.
Okay, you ain't mentioned that. He also mentioned that Joey Jihad came in there and took pictures and didn't buy anything out the jewelry store. So he went in there. The person who you said my jewelry was fake went in, took a bunch of pictures, then took the jewelry off and left. And that was his main picture which I showed on World Star video that went classically viral. Also, if you remember, the other person in that video who mentioned me about my jewelry, I wound up exposing him as what? I'll let you say it. You remember what he was exposed as?
No.
He was exposed as a child molester. World Star labeled it the quickest career ender in hip-hop history. He dissed me on Monday. Monday night, I put up the video showing him on Megan's Law, and we never heard from him again. So,
how did you find that out?
Intel, man. Somebody sent me a message. Somebody who actually, I met him through that message, and it's funny, they still my brother to this day. He had sent me a message and said, yo, the dude that's dissing you with Joey Jihad, he's on Megan's Law. I replied back. I said, I need his name, bro. I need his name. He gave me his government name, and the brother was on Megan's Law. And that almost got me in trouble because you're not allowed to use Megan's Law to tease or threaten anybody. So the police actually was like on my back a little bit about it. That's why that video actually got deleted. My response video, you can't find nowhere on the internet because it was legal ramifications because they felt like I used Megan's Law to like intimidate or whatever, which he probably told on me because when he knew I had that information, first he denied it. I had them on the phone behind closed doors. I was trying to get a bag out of him. I was like, yo, bring me a couple $. I won't expose it. You know what I'm saying? I was going to expose it anyway, but I was going to try to get a bag too. And he couldn't come up with the bag. I pressed the go button. World Star backed it. The thing went viral before it was going viral. So that's how I'm going to answer that question, man. Google Palestine, yo.
And so when you said the person that was in, because two people dissed you at the same time. It was Joey Jihad and the Mike Knox dude. Is that the second guy we're talking about? Or
No.
Okay.
Mike Knox wasn't that dude. Mike Knox, no, I definitely don't want people to think that. Mike Knox, he just came home from jail not long ago.
Yeah,
he definitely wasn't in jail for no freaky stuff like that guy was. Okay. Yeah, so I wasn't talking about Knox on that one.
Why would those dudes at the time coming at you? What did you have any running in with them in the street, or it was just a competitive thing? Because you, in your words, not in my words, I just want to clear that you were hot.
If they ain't hating, you ain't winning. You know what I'm saying? I was, like I said, I was the hottest artist at the time. I was the hottest artist who also wasn't affiliated and wasn't friends with anybody. So it's like it was cool. It became cool to hate on me. And honestly, I earned a lot of that hate too. I was very arrogant. I talked way better than what my music was. I was very popular. You know what I mean? These same dudes were sending videos to World Star, and World Star was replying back with that user submission fee and all of that. And they was wondering how I was up there 5 times. Like, I literally could eat a salad and it'd be on World Star. Tone Trump eats a salad. These dudes are shooting videos and vlogs, and they couldn't do nothing. They you know what they figured out? If I diss Tone Trump, that's the only way I get on there. And that's what really was happening.
So none of this stemmed from anything. It's just you were just hot and they came at you.
Well, each situation is different. I was beefing with so many people. Some of that stuff came from different stuff. Like, me and Mike Knox, we was in a group together.
Yes. You
know what I'm saying? Shout to Mike Knox, shout to Kodak, shout to Vig. We was in a group together. And he had got locked up. While he was locked up, I had brokered a production deal with Steve Morales. I moved to Miami. I was feeling myself. I was young. I had a whole bunch of money. I was very arrogant. And it was like the big brother, little brother thing. You know what I mean? He was trying to check me as a big brother. And when he went to jail, he was like my big brother. But while he was in jail, I had came up a little bit, and I was feeling myself like, you ain't my boss. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was bossing up now. So it was a clash of egos, a clash of power. And Mike Knox is very respected in Philly. So when me and Mike Knox went to our little beef or whatever, people chose sides. And I feel like so many people were scared of him. People chose his side and act like they didn't like me. People would see me on the low and be all, you know what I mean? Yo, man, you killing it. But these people wouldn't show me no love in public. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't want to offend Knox. Knox was moving around at the time. Knox was wilding at that time. He'd tell you it's so. I let him say it, but he was wilding at the time. You know what I'm saying? So when me and him was going at it, that was very real. That was a very real situation. That was past rap because we really knew each other. And it was really like the people around us who was really trying to hurt each other because me and him the whole time, even though we wasn't liking each other, I knew deep down he had a certain love for me, and I know I had a certain love for him. But it was also pride and ego stuff going on too. So that could have got very ugly. I'm glad that didn't.
Pride and ego is the number one, cause to a lot of situations in our society, in our community.
Absolutely.
And I kind of, now you gaining my respect a little bit, 5%, out of 100. You just gained my respect by acknowledging that at the time.
Only 5?
Yeah, only 5. At the time that you were in an ignorant state. I actually respect that.
Right.
Real talk, I want to salute you for that, man.
I got
because you acknowledged that, when he got locked up, you were, you came up and you took responsibility for your ignorant behavior.
Absolutely.
And I salute you for that.
Absolutely.
And I like that, man. It's a hard thing to do.
Well, it's not. You know what it is, man. When you secure and you confident as I am, you know what I mean? I can't come in here talking how I talk, looking how I look, wearing these $2,000 jeans. You know what I'm saying? Coming here talking about flying to Africa Sunday. I can't talk that talk and be sensitive. I can't talk that talk and be disingenuous. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, my story is my story, and I'm going to use my story to inspire others. I do that every day. So the people that watch me, the reason why people see me, when they see me praying 5 times a day now, when they see me in Mecca, when they see me in Medina, when they see me doing these give backs, you know, I want to talk about some of that stuff too. When we talk about beats, I want to talk about, you know, feeding the homeless.
But don't tell us. We're gonna get to it.
No, I'm not telling you nothing, but let me talk my talk too.
Okay.
You talk your talk, I'm gonna talk my talk.
Yeah, but I'm gonna get to it though, because
you definitely are. Inshallah.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to it because you letting your
shout out to my hoodie too, MDF Muslim Don family.
Shout out to MDF. You know, I would like one, but you know, hopefully, you know,
you gotta take Shahada first. You gotta take Shahada. You gotta take Shahada.
You gotta respect us a little bit more. 5% ain't enough to get you nowhere. Like,
you gotta take Shahada first.
And you gotta be a Muslim. You gotta take Shahada first.
I respect you guys, but you know, he gained my. It's different.
A little more, 5% more.
It's a different type of respect.
Right.
As men, I respect everyone. You guys came in my home with respect, showed me love. So the respect. Now we talking about letting your nuts hang.
Pause.
I can't respect it. He's dragging it. So now I respected 5%.
Hardwood stains.
He's dragging it. You know what I'm saying? He came in, G-Money like, yo, flip. G-Money give me the look like, yo, flip. Woo. So I got to slow it down. But as men, I salute all these guys are here respectful. You know what I mean? They ain't give me no, I say, yo, you can't record. I salute guys like that, man. It's not no extra stuff. Stand up men. You know what I'm saying?
Men of honor, and we take accountability for everything we do.
And I respect that.
That means a lot. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna get to you in 2 seconds. Another question I want to ask you. You know, since I'm going on you know, I saw the video with that Louie V guy.
Mm-hmm.
Where did that stem from? I saw the video. I saw you stood there. You didn't run. I saw the video. I had to rewatch. I had to remind myself. Because, you know, I did.
What happened again? You said I stood there.
I'm not going to give you that much credit. You know what happened. But I stood there and I watched because I wanted to catch you in something. I said, yeah, I'll get him. And no, you stood there. You didn't move. Where did that?
How many people was? How many? It was how many against one?
It was a lot of. It was about 5 or 6 hitting you. Yeah,
I never fell.
No, you didn't fall.
Never ran.
But hold on. You probably didn't fall because you probably braced yourself. You know, it happens to the best of us. Sometimes
fear of law and nothing else, man. If you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready. One thing I don't do is I never ever question the cutter of a law. Everything is already written. That moment right there was meant to destroy me. That moment was meant to. At that time, I was affiliated and signed to one of the biggest artists in the world, Young Jeezy. I had a record with Jeezy. I was going around the world picking up so much money. That happened on a Sunday. That particular Sunday that happened was one of the most successful financial weeks of my life. I'll never forget. I had like 5 shows that weekend. I had no business really being at the Philly Hip Hop Awards because I was on fire. I just got back from down south, North Carolina, Raleigh, Greensboro. Like, you know, and you've been on a road flip, and you know how it goes. Like, you can go into one city, G-Money, you know this too, and you can do 5 things. Like, so I would do 2 features at $3,000 a piece. I had a walkthrough for $2,000. I had a show for $5,000. You know what I mean? So I literally came back at this time. You know, I'm talking 22. I'm talking a bag of money. You know what I mean? I'm running around. I got a song called Afghan featuring GC. It's streaming crazy. Shout to Jeezy. And that incident was a situation where at that time he was affiliated with Meek Mills. He is a hungry artist. He looked at it like a situation I felt to me. Only thing I could do is speak for me because I've really never used to answer this question, but it's old now, mashallah. So the one thing I would say is I felt like he saw opportunity and he felt like it was going to look like, because at the time it was like Ross and Jeezy was having smoke. So I think he wanted it to look like some Maybach, CTE, Dream Chaser type thing. You know what I mean? He was chasing a bag. That's how I look at it, because that person who you mentioned, who tried to bust the move, was under my wing before he was even with Meek. A lot of people don't know that when they think about the backdrop of that story. Like, that was my bro at one point. You know
I see you guys were on Sub-Zero together.
There you go. You did your homework.
I did.
And he was right next to me on there.
That's a fact. You were the white guy as well.
Right. So, you know what I mean? So I'm glad you know you did your homework. So which I was dominating them Sub-Zeros, and a lot of people in New York.
Continue the story. Come on.
Cover boy.
It's dragging again.
Cover boy. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
Yeah, cover boy. Only one from Philly on the cover of the Sub-Zeros, but yeah, selling out, touring off of them too. Ask Sub about that. Ask Sub about the bag I made with him. But anyway, I felt like that's what that was about. I felt like that was that look, that was that move, and I don't hold no ill will towards him. That move, it just disappointed me because it was just like, damn, this somebody who really know me. This somebody who I've helped before. You know what I'm saying? And he really was trying to just end my whole situation because that was supposed to be Tone Trump gets knocked out, robbed, blah, 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 and I would go away. And honestly, that move, like I said, Allah, he covers me and blesses me so much that a move that was supposed to destroy me made me bigger than life. People from all over were like saluting me, like, yo, you know what I mean? Like, I talk so much trash that, like you said, people were looking for something to be like, they got him, and they didn't get me, mashallah.
I mean, you did, you know, and I watched the video. You were faced in one way, and then you got snuck, and you didn't fall. But
I slipped and threw a jab.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, good job. The thing is, when you paraphrase, this is my issue, you know, and I like what you said today as far as like promoting, and you could also, when you're ready, to plug in another positivity quote, you know, make sure you gotta check out, you know, Google Palestine because
Please do.
Because if it can happen there, it can happen
here.
anywhere.
That's right.
Yeah, it can happen here.
That's right.
But when somebody say he was under my wing, it was my man, because I did see you guys together, and don't tell the backstory of what went wrong, it sort of puzzles me, unless it's street stuff that you can't really talk about.
It's definitely some street stuff.
Okay.
He talked about it in the interview recently. I'll say that, and I've always prided myself in not really bringing street stuff to this. I'm
Respect.
a superstar.
Respect.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like I can't, you know, this is a beautiful, powerful platform. I feel watched by everybody. You know what I mean? I got fans in federal government. You know what I mean? I don't want to wake no dumb stuff up. So it was definitely some street stuff. And you know, like I said, he spoke about it in an interview, which, like I said, surprised me. But I'm definitely not in the streets. I don't have nothing to do with the streets. You know what I mean? I'm a praying Muslim. I'm a mogul. I'm a father. You know, and
Would you? Sorry,
I'm a winner. I'm a hustler.
Would you ever sit down and have a conversation with him to make amends, or that situation? You know, because you said that you to me that you sort of stripped your ego and pride now. To me, you're like a new man. You know, from what I watch, even growing up, watch you on World Star. So, would you be open to have a conversation? No. You would not be open to have a conversation.
No, it's no need for it. Some things, you know, is but left undone. You know, I don't hold no ill will. I don't, you know, it was a time I did, but some things you just got to move forward from. You know what I'm saying? That if that would have went as they planned, that would have affected my children. That would have affected my mother. And by the mercy of Allah, it didn't. But that's too much right there. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not there yet. That's not to say I won't get there, but I've had people reach out to me before that I respect in the streets and stuff, you know, and say, you know, would you be willing to talk? But no, you know what I mean? I wouldn't be willing to talk. But at the same time, I don't have no ill will towards the brother or his family or nothing he got going on.
Nah, I was going to just ask, like, how do you, you know, move forward after that? Like, you know, this is someone you said you had under the wing. Like, how do you process that as far as your people around you after that or at that time? Like, your close friends and people that you do business with, like, how do you trust?
Well, one part of that story that he didn't, it was very key in that story, on that video, one of the things that was very, very hurtful and embarrassing about that video was, at the time, somebody who was looked at as my brother ran on me in that video. You know, somebody who wound up, you know, years later, we wound up finding out he was a rat, you know, was wearing wires on dudes, millions, a stone cold rat, stone cold coward. You know, he left me for dead that day. You know, if them dudes would have jumped me the right way, you know, you watch the video, you see him cowering off, backing out, and he ran and he left me. And
it's playing right now. I'm watching it again.
That hurt me more than any punch thrown. You know what I mean? Just watching somebody that I got money with, travel with, pray with, leave me for dead, and also, like I said, even worse than leaving me getting jumped, turned out to be a rat, a disgusting rat, something that I despise.
The dude with the hat on, right? And he backed off. Yes, he did.
He ran. He flew.
Well, he backed
off.
He
moonwalked on camera, but he flew.
Oh, he flew after.
He was gone.
And then we find out that this man was a stone cold rat.
A definite rat. I got the, you know, and I just bigger than documents. I got the actual wiretaps.
Interesting. Did he wiretap you?
He called me one time and tried to talk about some stuff that I was just like, why he calling me with this stuff I don't know nothing about. I just hung up the phone, and then, you know, mashallah, lucky for me, I didn't pertain in any of that conversation, because a good friend of mine in Philly wound up hitting me one day and was like, yo, I need you to hear something. He emails me the wiretaps. Ran into a couple dudes that's locked up. You know, he telling on their case, so it just was a bad situation. I put out a PSA just letting everybody know that, You know, I have nothing to do with him. At the time when he got exposed as a rat, I hadn't seen him in about 3 years because I never talked to him again after that situation. Because when that happened, I didn't know he ran till the video came out. I'm going to tell you how much love World Star had for me. You know World Star put up any fight. That fight never went on World Star. They sent it to World Star, and World Star sent it to me and was like, yo, these dudes trying to get us to put this up. But take a look at, they told me the time. They said, yo, your brother runs. You know, you might want to see what your brother did because I didn't know. People was in my Instagram comments that was there. It was like, yo, that's crazy. Your man left you. And I called him. I was like, yo, why people saying you left me? Because he told me he was like on the side fighting some other dudes. I believed him. We had been through way worse stuff than that before. You know what I mean? Like, because at that time, I was living very wild. I was on the road. Like, even that weekend, I went through something way wilder than that. You know, anybody that know about touring down south, man, it get real down there. Them boys down there get real down there. You down in North Carolina where everybody is strapped legally. I mean, in the club. You know what I mean? It get real wild. So being, you know, an artist on the grind on the road like that, I'm in every small little club, you know, like these little clubs y'all got in the Bronx. I'm in those type of clubs in every city in America, you know, going around hustling. Somebody want to feature after the show, we going to the projects to do it. We risking it all for this. So for that to happen where it happened, that even where that happened, that is it's a shopping district. That wasn't like we was in the hood where they tried to pop off at. We was in the middle of, you know, like downtown Philadelphia. So, you know, that was all, like I said, I didn't lose, I learned. I win or I learned. In that situation, I won and I learned.
So you watch battle rap, yes?
Oh, you know I do. Now, I ain't gonna lie, I don't watch as much as I should no more, but because I'm just so busy, but I got mad love for a lot of battle rappers, though.
And off the strength, because my man spoke to him today, and he's doing new things with his podcast, and he asked me, you know, not to hash up anything that's going to make it seem like, you know, he has any issue with Tone Trump or I want to say that he was very respectful, like any issue or, you know, I got a podcast, I'm doing positive things and, you know, the internet is the internet or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know what who I'm referring to. I'm pretty sure.
When I think about podcasts, I think about Flip the Script. I think about Wallow and Gilly. You know what I mean? I don't know.
My man Mav Hoffa got a podcast called My Expert Opinion. It's doing very well. Eminem just shouted out. Not saying you may care or not. But
he said Eminem shouted it out. That's definitely his man. He threw the tagline on it. Eminem.
I'm just saying he might not care or not. But what I'm saying is that do you look at situations like that as beef or is just like internet stuff? Do you look at a situation like that or a misunderstanding with him as a beef or is just a because and the reason why I said I had to put the disclaimer because you know you're answering everything and I did speak to him today.
You gonna let me answer it or not?
No, hold on.
Because when they get to your man, you making a question long. You gotta let me talk.
No. I'm gonna let you talk. But I don't want to make it seem like I'm trying to because I was asked not to do something. So I don't want to make it seem, but I can't.
When you start listening, you always just starting shit.
I didn't just listen. I just spoke about it.
Right.
So I did not listen, but
right.
I do have to say the positive. It was no malicious annotation into that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like no, it was like I'm not on that type of time or anything. That's what I want to say. So, how did you look at that situation? Just want to put that there.
I look at a situation like this, man. Like me being who I am in the position and the level I am right now, man. Like I said, I turn every negative to a positive. So if you say something was a beef, if I had a beef, I wouldn't talk about it on the interview. You know what I mean? Because if I have a beef, man, I'm going to handle a beef, and I would like it to stay in the streets. I don't feel like the streets should stay in the streets, and the internet. When I'm on the internet, I should be talking about, you know, my platform, my merchandise, my music, my business, how much I love my children, how handsome I am, my jeans. I just walked New York Fashion Week too. That's major. I just did that. Shout out to Burning Guitars. You know what I'm saying? Like I really, you know what I mean?
4 or 5 I didn't throw out.
NY Fashion Week, that's major. Like you talking about somebody Eminem shouting somebody out. Yeah, I did NY Fashion. Shout out to Lord Jamar. I did NY Fashion Week. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You talking about Eminem. Shout out to Lord Jamar. I like Eminem just as much as Lord Jamar like Eminem. So my Eminem.
My main thing. So I said that because
I know I'm having fun. I gotta talk my talk.
No, talk. I'm not mad. And I hear your man hyping you. And
I'm trying to make you walk in the closet.
I ain't gonna walk there yet. No, the thing is though.
Listen, but like I said,
have you watched his podcast? It's dope.
Nah, I ain't
Check
never
it
watched it. I ain't never watched it.
It's peace. It's dope.
You're
a nice guy. I'm gonna watch it.
You and Eminem watching it. That's major right there. He got you and Eminem. He don't need me. One thing I say though, man. that's a situation I never talked about like that. I knew when your producer hit me, the first thing I saw in the first thing that came to mind was you asking about that guy. And one thing I will say about that situation that I've never said before is, one thing that I did respect is he came to me at a time where like a lot of dudes was talking. I'll just say that, whatever happened between us, it was a real situation. The one thing I didn't respect is whenever he told the story, I don't feel like he was 100% honest. And when I was asked about it, I wouldn't answer because at the time, I really looked at it like he ain't nobody that I really need to be worrying about. I was looking at it like who? Like because to be perfectly honest with you, it all started from a rap battle. He had a battle with a rapper. The rapper mentioned me in his battle, and then he rebutted the rapper and dissed me. And people were hitting me saying, yo, so-and-so dissed you. Not being funny enough, and I didn't know who they was talking about when he dissed me. So when I saw who he dissed me, my reply wasn't, I'm going to kill this person. My reply was, I'm getting money in New York every week. This person will never get money in Philadelphia. He will never get a paid show in Philadelphia. He will never get no money in Philadelphia. That was like my reply. That was me, the arrogant me. And I was being honest. Even when we had our incident, I was coming off stage from headlining in New York City, where a bunch of New York rappers y'all all know opened up for me. I was headlining, SOBs, coming off the stage, winning, shining, glowing. So my thing was, it was never, when you say beef is such a strong word. But one thing I will say, because like you said he was saying something positive. Yeah. I'll say something positive. One thing I always respected is he bored it. You know what I'm saying? And respect. I didn't like how he narrated it, but I'm a rapper too. So, you put the spin on it. But one thing I do know, in any situation, I either win or I learn. And in that situation, I won and I learned. Everything I said, and I carried it like a man and like a boss the whole time. So much real stuff happened that night. And every interview I did, I could have made myself seem so gangster, so cool, so wavy. You know what I did? I don't know what y'all talking about. I was doing some of the biggest platforms at the time. So what happened with, I don't know what you're talking about. That's how I carried it. And I could look back at that with so much pride. And I don't have to have nothing ashamed about. I handle mine like a man, just like every situation. And I'm still undefeated. I'm still pretty. I'm here right now. I'm from
Queens, man.
Shout to Queens. You know I got money with 50 before. You looked it up. You ain't want to ask about that though.
No, I'm gonna ask
Shout to 50.
I want to do it. No, don't
stutter now. Shout to Queens. Shout to the real Queens.
Yo, don't do it. I am the real Queen.
Yeah, Chink, Stack Bundles, Maserati Fox.
Yeah, rest in peace to my brothers. I know them.
I know. Why you don't got Bino head on? Ghost got you a nice check, huh? Shout to Ghost. Shout to Ghost. Shout to Bambi. Shout to Maestro. Yeah, I know. I know.
Yo, chill out.
Shout to Queens.
Don't ever do nothing like that in your life. You hear me?
Shout to Halal Bros. Shout to Halal Bros. Shout to Halal Bros. Yeah.
Huh? You count my pockets like that? How you gonna say that, boy?
Catch you on Rosedale again.
Huh? And I'm out there.
Yeah, I know.
Catch me if you can, huh? I play tag every day. Pause. Labels. Let's talk about, because you were Jeezy.
MDF. Muslim Don Family.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Paul, me.
Shout to Malia, Skibo Debo, John Doe, YMG.
Respect the brother.
Let me talk. I couldn't wait for this joy. Yo, is my Yeezy showing? Your cameraman? All right. These jeans showing. Did I mention I walked New York Fashion Week? Did I mention that?
Yeah, you did.
I had my own jeans on, Doc and Don denim.
Show the Yeezys a little bit in the camera.
Let's show the Doc. No. Let's show the Doc and Don denims. I don't get paid for the Yeezys.
Okay.
See that MDF on my jeans? The MDF. Shout to Dr. Stitchenstein.
Bro?
MDF.
You like stuff like
how much the jeans cost again? You said how much jeans cost?
The jeans range from $1,500 to $3,500. Every pair is a one-on-one. Doc and Don. Debuted at New York Fashion Week. Doc and Don jeans.
Bags, he can't help it. Why you mad at
Doc and Don jeans.
He like this.
Yeah, he love it.
He like this stuff.
He don't like it. He love it.